Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast, brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVRealtor.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Super. How are you doing?
Very, very good. Hey, have you ever had problems like making things happen that you planned on happen? You always come up with excuses. Like, I can't go today because I got this excuse. I was going to go, but I can't go because I got that excuse. Got a young lady that's going to be telling us how to get rid of some of the excuses. If maybe you're trying to lose weight or trying to come up with some. Got a guest that'll be chatting about how to get rid of the excuses. You ready for that?
Sure thing.
All right. Going to have her on later unless I come up with a good excuse not to. Just kidding. Hey, don't overcook your French fries or your toast. A new study from the UK Food Standards Agency. Now, first of all, what does the UK know about good food? They measured the amount of acrylamide. It's a cancer-causing toxin in roasted potatoes, fries, and toast. And they found, the new research shows, these potatoes and fries and toast, you need to cook them to a light golden color, and it shouldn't be dark. If it's black, you're not supposed to eat that. They think that's going to cause cancer. That's the best kind of toast, though.
Oh, I love burnt toast.
I know, me too. So I'm like, so now I'm going to have golden brown toast?
But they also say the same thing about grilled food, and they said that about eggs, and they say that about milk. No matter
doomed.
What, you're going to get it, and you're going to die, so you might as well enjoy yourself.
See, I don't know about all that. I would like to check into that. Acrylamide, whatever that is. Coming up, we got some special things to celebrate today. We'll tell you what in just a short while.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. Get razors for $1 a month plus a few bucks shipping, so you can enjoy fresh razors every month for as little as $3. Learn more at dollarshaveclub.com/radio.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
Thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, the 10th day of February. So that means today is all the news that's fit to print day. So today's a good day to read news, apparently. It's also Plimsoll Day.
Plimsoll?
I knew you'd ask, so I checked into this. Dedicated to the memory of Samuel Plimsoll,
I have no idea who this is.
I'll tell you who. He was a member of the English Parliament. He championed sailors' safety while traveling the world's waterways, and he was instrumental in the amendment of the Britain Merchant Shipping Act. It was a thing to help make ships more safe, because they had a problem back in the day where they were saying, hey, let's just keep loading stuff on there. They would overload ships, and then as soon as they'd leave, they'd sink, and all the guys on the ship would die too. So Mr. Plimsoll said, hey, we got to come up with a better way. So he saved thousands and thousands and thousands of sailors' lives. So good day to remember. And it's also the 16th anniversary of the day I proposed to you.
Yes, it is.
Because tomorrow's our anniversary, and I didn't officially propose to her. So the night before we got married, I said, you know what, I think I owe you a proposal. So, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Coming up, we're going to talk about money troubles. No, it's not about us, but it could be. But it's a Frenchman that's in the news. We'll tell you all about it.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RVRealtor.com. If you want to buy or sell an RV, go to RVRealtor.com. List your RV for free. Learn more at RVRealtor.com.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. You think you got money troubles? Whatever it is, guarantee it's nothing compared to the ones this Frenchman has. A car salesman in Nantes, France. Is that a place? Nantes?
Nantes, France.
How would you say it? Nantes? Nantes?
I have no idea.
I think Nantes, France sounds pretty cool. Anyway, the car salesman there has sued the government because he is allergic to money. Yeah.
What?
Sergei Bauzy, a Frenchman, claims that his lawsuit in there, that he says the
What's he suing for money?
The ink, well, that's what he's insisting the French government change their ink. He says the ink that they're using for printing their currency is making him sick. He's seeking damages for his illness and wants the government to change the ink. Here's what I think he should do. He should
use a debit card.
Yeah, I'll say, I can't think of the last time I actually had money. I'm like, I never have money. I use my debit card. There you go. There. And then I have to cross my fingers and say, please don't be declined. Please don't be declined. I should balance my checkbook a little better, maybe.
Yeah, anyway. Just do direct deposit and use your debit card and quit being such a pansy.
Well, this is a little dude over in Nantes, France, and I'm sure someone's going to let me know that's not how you say it, but I'm still going to call it that. Nantes. How would you say it?
I have
Nantes.
No idea. Nantes, probably
France?
something arrogant like
Yeah,
that, I'm sure.
Arrogant. Anyway, Serge over there in Nantes, France, car salesman, struggling because he's allergic to money. Wouldn't that stink, to be allergic to money? Because, that is all around you all the time.
There are ways around it, though.
There
just
are.
saying.
Yeah, use your debit card.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Anyway, good. And how many people pay? He's a car salesman. They don't pay for a car with cash.
No, they don't come in with stacks of money. And if they
never
do,
know.
you might want to call the authorities right away anyway, because there's clearly something wrong.
Come and see me quick. I'm in Nantes, France. Guy wants to buy a car with a bunch of cash. All right. You know it's true because you heard it on the radio.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain. And this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again?
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Seatbelts, they're for beer, not for kids. At least in St. Augustine, Florida. Police have arrested a 46-year-old Tina Williams there.
A 4 to 6-year-old?
46-year-old. Did I say it funny?
Yeah, you
okay.
did.
Well,
I was like, what?
She's a 46-year-old.
Okay.
She was caring more about her beer than her kids. They stopped her for running a red light. When they got to the car, there was a 24-pack of Busch beer strapped in the passenger seat.
Wow.
But a 16-month-old girl unrestrained. Also in the back was a 20-year-old Amber Tedrick, the toddler's mom. Tina said she didn't know why the child was unrestrained. She also refused to take a breathalyzer test.
Oh, my gosh.
The deputy found 2 metal pipes commonly used for drugs in her purse. She was charged with DUI, child abuse, possession of drug paraphernalia, and driving without a license. Good news is the beer was not harmed in this incident. So
wow.
The beer was safe because she had it in a seatbelt. So I've never, ever strapped in, like if I'm carrying groceries, anything, throw it on the front seat. I've never strapped in anything other than a person. Have you?
No.
I've never done
I don't
that.
even strap in people.
Oh, just stop it. All right. Anyway, that is your brain on drugs.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Keystone Treatment Center. Addiction is no laughing matter. Call Keystone Treatment Center toll-free at 1-844-204-1055.
Got your moment of duh from Las Vegas today. There's a lot of moments of duh that happen in Vegas. I'm sure of it. We've been there before. We've seen people do a lot of dumb things.
Yes.
But it's not a good idea to rob the same place where you're applying for a job.
No, not at all.
Vegas police have accused Alejandro Martinez of robbing a pizza parlor. What led them to suspect Martinez? Well, before he pulled off the heist, he asked for a job application. He felt the moment was right. He put down his pen, produced a gun, and took off with cash. What he didn't take off with was his job application,
which had
that
all
had
of his information
his
on
name
it.
and address on it.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Seriously.
And it was accurate.
It was. It was him. So they get to his house, and he's like, how did you find me?
Oh, man.
Well, good news and bad news. Well, the bad news is you didn't get the job. But the good news is you're going to go to jail, so you don't have to worry about money for a while anyway. So there you go.
Wow.
What a moron. That wasn't very smart.
Absolutely.
Coming up, we've got your scoop of the day. That is on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. It's no secret that Americans are drinking less soda. Now the trend is starting to take its toll on the restaurant industry. According to Time, a recent report from the NPD Group found that over the past 5 years, Americans ordered 4% fewer beverages at a restaurant. That is a whopping 2 billion fewer servings. That's a lot. 4% doesn't sound like so much, but 2 billion fewer sodas, that's a lot. New York police say a man is with a long history of pretending to be a transit worker and commandeering New York City subway trains for joyrides has been arrested again after stealing a commercial passenger bus this time.
Oh, my God.
Darius McCollum was arrested by officers who spotted the bus traveling down a street in Brooklyn. Why doesn't he just get a job there if he likes doing this?
He's probably tried, and he can't get a job there because he's got a long
record.
line of...
Why can't he work here? Because he keeps stealing her stuff. Oh, yeah, that's right. According to a recent study, men have to work harder deciphering what women say because they use the auditory part of their brain that processes music, not human voices. It's not the pitch of the woman's voice, but the vibration and the number of sound waves causing the problem. So if you ever get the feeling that men are not listening to you, ladies, it's because they can't. Scientifically, they have no clue what you're saying. So when you tell me to take out the trash, I'm like, what did you say? Go sit down and watch TV? All right.
I can't hear a thing you're saying.
I love it. New research shows young people who become sleep deprived by using the internet in the small hours or the small hours?
Wee hours.
All right, I've never
In
heard
the
of
wee
it.
hours.
Have you ever heard of it called the small hours?
No, I have not, but I have heard wee hours.
Anyway.
I think that's what they meant.
I think so, too. Maybe they were autocorrected. I don't know. Anyway, they're more likely to become mentally ill later in life.
Oh.
So get some sleep. Lack of sleep may help explain the puzzling increase in mental illness among young people in recent decades. Regularly staying up to surf the net and chat on social networking sites could actually be a reason young people are sleeping less. According to research, the study of about 20,000 young people found that those who slept fewer than 5 hours a night were 3 times more likely to become psychologically distressed.
Huh.
Good thing it's only on young people.
I woke up in the middle of the night last night, and I could not get back to sleep.
What was I doing while all this happened?
Sleeping.
I was sawing logs. I went to bed. I think I was in a chili-induced coma. I still had some leftover chili from the Super Bowl, so I wanted to finish that off, and I was done. I was out. Hey, we're married, by the way, so if you're wondering why we're just always like to throw that out there once in a while. According to a poll of U.S. adults, more than a third feel that the most frightening creatures in the world are snakes. Huh. What do you think? Are you afraid of snakes?
I'm not afraid of snakes. I'm more afraid of spiders than I am of
snakes.
Well,
then that means you're somewhat normal, because the second most scary thing for U.S. adults were rats, followed by spiders, and then cockroaches. And if you're not afraid of any of those things, then you're like me, because I'm not really afraid of snakes or rats or spiders or cockroaches.
I have spiders and centipedes on the same level. I do not like centipedes.
I'm not saying I want to hang out with them or anything. I'm not afraid of them. Hey, a study says women who drink moderately are less likely to gain weight. What are your thoughts on that?
Maybe I should try that.
Moderately?
Yeah.
Listen to this story from Minneapolis. This is crazy. A resident in the Minneapolis area, John Kittleson, was having a party, and he thought, hey, I'm going to make it easy for people to find my driveway. He took a painting that he had, an Elvis painting, and he put it on a sawhorse at the end of his driveway.
Okay.
Thought that'd be a fun thing to see.
Right.
Well, painting was worth $15,000.
Whoa!
And somebody thought it was trash and took it.
Did he know that it was worth $15,000?
Apparently, because he's claiming that he wants to have it replaced.
Why on earth?
I don't know.
Would he have put a $15,000 painting?
That's just dumb. You don't do that.
No.
It's a bad idea. All right. And Walter...
Maybe he just says that was what it was worth to him. It's probably just a velvet Elvis.
I don't know.
that he found at a garage sale.
No, I'm looking. I don't have time to read this story. I'll get to this one later. So let's move on with our strange law.
All right.
In California, it is illegal to set a mousetrap without a hunting license. Are you serious?
Oh, my gosh.
It is illegal to set a mousetrap without a hunting license?
Does that surprise you about California?
You need to get a hunting license? That is a strange law. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
This portion of the program is brought to you by RoughToughKennels.com. Dog kennels and accessories sent to your front door wherever you live. Your dog deserves it. Learn more at RoughToughKennels.com.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We've got a special guest joining us right now, a certified life coach, Sherry Brantley, also the author of STEPP. And that stands for Start to Exercise Personal Power, How to Create Positive Change in Your Life. Sherry, how are you today?
I'm doing great, John. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, I'm glad to have you on the program. And I know when we first connected, we were looking at having you a little earlier in the year, back when people were making those New Year's resolutions. And I'll bet there's probably still one or two people that are maybe still doing those. But we're going to talk about how to get rid of some of the excuses and actually do some things that are going to help improve your life. Now, what's the first thing that people need to do to walk in that right direction?
What they really want to do is take a look at what their overall goal and their objective is, and that way they can take a look at how to divide that into smaller chews so it's more palatable for them.
And what are the big excuses that people usually come up with?
The top 3 excuses, John, are time, money, and fear.
Well, I just don't have the time, and I can't afford it. And Sherry, I'm afraid to try.
That's exactly it. And I talk with people about how to eliminate those fears. And the time one is the one that I say is a two-edged sword, because the youthful population have a tendency to think that they have all the time in the world, and then they look up and 15 and 20 years has passed. And then for the older generation, they think that their ship has passed, but they fail to realize that many people beyond their senior and retirement years start entirely new careers and businesses and are very successful at it. So that's one of the myths that I like to get rid of for people.
And it's never too late. My wife and I just watched the movie The Intern last night with Robert De Niro, and he was in the movie age 70, and he was interning at a technology company. It was a fascinating movie, especially if you're one of those people that, one of the other things we talked about was fear. If you're afraid of technology, this is a guy that he didn't grow up with this technology, but he used it to his advantage in the movie, and it was really a neat thing. So now, what are some of the things that we can do, like if we want to get started towards hitting these goals? Maybe it's too late for our New Year's resolution because that's gone, but I still want to lose weight or I still want to do something. What are some of the things that we should be doing to get started?
Well, one of the things I tell people is don't worry about making resolutions. I rather call them goal setting. So if you have different goals throughout the year, then you don't have to worry about the new year's already passed or the first month of the year is passed and I'm a failure. So think about them as goals that you're doing throughout the year, and then that way you can stay on track, become more focused, and define and focus on the ones that you really want to achieve.
Again, visiting today with Sherry Brantley. Sherry is a certified life coach, also an author of a book called STEPP, S-T-E-P-P, and that stands for Start to Exercise Personal Power, How to Create Positive Change in Your Life. Now, Sherry, is there a process that we should go through to solidify our gains and make these positive changes last long term?
There is, and it's a very simple process, so that's one of the things I like to always talk about. And, we've been taught that in order for you to realize your dreams, go for your passions, it's going to be a long, hard roll in life, and that's just simply is not true. So what you really want to do is determine where you're currently at and then take a look at where you would like to be at. And then what I advise people to do is take a look at the bigger picture just for a moment. So as Stephen Covey says, begin with the end in mind. And then what I do is I help them divide all of these steps that they would need to take between point A and point B. And then that way they're able to focus on just the smaller incremental steps. Because it's much easier to think about what do I need to do today as opposed to how does this entire picture come together.
Definitely. And even the longest journey begins with a single step. And that's the name of your book. I thought that'd be kind of fun.
That's it, yeah, that's exactly it.
Well, and I also like, you have another program with the acronym is RAVE, Recognize, Analyze, Visualize, and Empowerize. Tell us a little bit about that as well.
That's just a simple 4-step process where you can take any concern you have. So it doesn't necessarily have to be with goals. For instance, if you just want to increase communication within your family unit, what you want to do is take those that acronym, recognize where you're at, and then analyze what it is you would like to do or what you would like your outcome to be. And then I do use a visualization process so people can see what it would actually feel like to have reached that destination that they're going for. And then you just empowerize yourself to take action because, of course, we have to take action with everything we would like to do.
Definitely. Because if you have a good plan but you don't take action, you're still not going to get there.
That's exactly it.
Well, Sherry, thank you for taking some time to chat with us. Let's talk about where we can get a copy of the book, STEPP, Start to Exercise Personal Power, How to Create Positive Changes in Your Life. Where can we find a copy of that?
It is available at any bookstore will be able to order for you, but it's also available on Amazon.com. And for those listeners that go directly to my website, which is SherryBrantley.com, I will send them out a personalized copy if they request the books from that site. So we have many ways for them to be able to receive them.
Very nice. And I'm going to give that website again, SherryBrantley.com. And Sherry, thank you again for chatting with us here on the John and Heidi Show.
It's been my pleasure, John. Thank you so much, and enjoy your new year.
Definitely will. Thank you again for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by CarsForSale.com. If you're in the market to buy a car, truck, or van, find thousands of vehicles to choose from at CarsForSale.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
35% of people placing personal ads are already married. Yeah, 35%.
Wow, that is a crazy number.
It is. That is ridiculous.
It's because they heard that Pina Colada song too many times.
Probably. Yeah, it was because that was like somebody answering the personal ad, and it was his
and
wife.
And they met up at the restaurant, and
then they laughed about it.
I don't think it would turn out that well if that happened to us.
Well, first of all, that would never happen to us. But if it did, that would be bad. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Researchers have found...
You know why that would never happen to us?
Why's that?
Because you wouldn't answer my personal
You're right. I know I wouldn't. Like, whatever you're into, yeah, I'm not into that. Good luck, though. Hope you find someone.
If you like rude jokes and shooting guns.
And taking walks in the rain. Yeah. Research has found that human sweat contains potent agents that fight off germs and infections. So the good news is, probably said, I sweat a lot. All right, that's going to do it for your fun facts. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
This portion of the program is brought to you by StoneGroupArchitects.com. It's more than a building. It's design and function working together. Check out the project portfolio at StoneGroupArchitects.com.
Today is the 10th of February, and we are sneaking right up on Valentine's Day. So Reader's Digest put out this thing called 13 Things Your Florist Won't Tell You. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
It says you can order flowers at 3 a.m. from those FTD or Teleflora or 1-800-Flowers, but they're going to charge you $15, and then they just call a local florist anyway.
Yep.
So saying, why do that? You
Just
can
wait,
order them for me and
wouldn't they tell you
save
that?
$15. Because they get
Why
paid
does it say
either way.
They won't tell you that.
Next one says most flower shops restock on Monday mornings, so that is the time to place an order. Fridays and Saturdays are good days to ask what's on special, because they got stuff that's going to croak soon. Number 3.
I'm going to give you some flowers.
Here's some flowers. These are dead already. These are dead. They're wilted.
But I got a good deal.
Got a heck of a deal for you. Going to go on a date tonight with dead flowers. Number 3, out of preservative, try this. 1/4 of 7-Up, 3/4 of water, and 2 or 3 drops of bleach, and your flowers will perk right up. I don't know how that works.
I don't either.
Number 4, they say
You'd think
ask.
bleach would kill them.
You'd think so. Ask for a discount. There's always one of some kind, a senior citizen discount, a professional group discount, customers we like discount, something. There's always a discount. So when you're getting flowers, say, do I qualify for a discount? I served in the military, or I didn't serve in the military, or, you come up with something. Whatever. I voted last year. I recycle. Is there a discount for that? Number 5, the trick to managing flowers that last, cut the stems at an angle. I've seen them do that.
I did know
before.
that.
6, don't forget to wash the vase with soap when you change the water. Otherwise, you get bacteria, and that'll help kill your flowers quicker. You don't want that. How fresh are your roses? Look closely at the bottom and see if there are blossoms. How many outside petals have been removed? The more ripped petals you see, the older it is. That cheap glass vase that came with your bouquet, most of us will gladly recycle it. And if you take it back, they'll usually give you a little discount if you bring those back.
Huh. Those usually end up in the free bin on garage sales.
Yeah, I see them all the time. So just gather them up and return them. Maybe you'll get a nickel back or something. I don't know. Fruit is the enemy. It emits ethylene gas. So if you have fruit and you have flowers, keep them apart. Otherwise, your flowers will die. Your flowers look beautiful in the window, but don't put them in the window. Direct sunlight will make them die quicker. And it says you can buy cheaper Valentine's Day roses at gas stations, but they may droop or lose petals the very next day. They were probably cut weeks ago and stuffed in cold storage. And then the last 2 things here, it's not your nose. Many flowers today don't have much scent because growers and breeders, they're trying to make them look beautiful, not smell beautiful. And it says, we didn't choose February. If it were up to us, Valentine's Day would be in the summer when roses are actually in season. So there you go. Things your florist won't tell you from our friends at Reader's Digest.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV, 1-800-259-7646. Also brought to you by RVWheelator.com. If you're buying an RV or selling an RV, check out RVWheelator.com and the Dollar Shave Club. Here's John and Heidi.
Breaking your heart a few days early. It says here, be extra careful this coming Sunday before Valentine's Day. You don't want an unfortunate accident to ruin your celebration, right?
Right.
Sunday is when we have Valentine's Day this year, but Sunday is also the biggest day for accidents. According to a new survey, you're 10% more likely to get hurt and end up in the hospital on Sunday than any other day. Household accidents cause 1 million injuries and 5,000 deaths per year, with the majority of them happening on Sunday evening.
That's crazy.
So be careful out there, people. I don't know what people are doing. It's so dangerous on Sunday evening. We're just laying around the house watching TV. We're not doing anything too dangerous. Anyway, whatever it is, we're not doing that. So be careful out there and be very safe. Again, this Valentine's Day is this weekend, so you don't want to get hurt on Valentine's Day. That would stink. Coming up, we're going to talk about a judge. You're going to hope you don't get this judge. It's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by GunUp.com. If you're a gun lover, you'll be in heaven at GunUp.com. Built by experienced military veterans, shooting sports competitors, and publishing professionals. They have awesome stories and articles that are read by millions of gun enthusiasts. Check it out at GunUp.com.
You've heard this before, like on TV shows and stuff. They talk about a tough judge. Ooh, yeah, he's a tough judge. You don't want this judge. He's a tough judge. Well, this guy is from New York. He tossed out a $50 million lawsuit by Goldman Sachs bond trader who contended the company fired him illegally for dating a coworker. State Supreme Court Justice Beatrice Shainswit ruled that Thomas R. Hudson was not fired for the girlfriend, but said he was probably fired to keep him from getting a $5 million bonus he would have received a few weeks after his termination date. So he's saying, you know what? They didn't fire you for that reason. They fired you because if you'd have been there 2 more weeks, you'd have this $5 million bonus. So he tossed out the whole entire lawsuit. Wow. So I wonder now if this guy can go back and sue them for firing for that reason. Because he had this $50 million lawsuit. He said, you fired me for dating a coworker, and that wasn't against the rules. But now the judge said that's not why they fired you. He fired you for this reason. So I wonder if he could sue them for that.
But it seems like the judge could have ruled in his favor either way, because either way,
I don't know
if that was unlawful.
But that's where I'm saying I wonder if he has a second chance at that now. I don't know. Anyway, coming up, we're going to talk about allergies. That's on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. You can get razors sent to your door each month for just $1 plus a couple of bucks shipping. It's an amazing deal. Log on to dollarshaveclub.com/radio to learn more. That's dollarshaveclub.com/radio. Now, back to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. You have allergies. What are you allergic to? Cats?
Cats.
Just mainly cats?
Yeah.
I have like allergies to something.
And then I get like hay fever sometimes.
Yeah, I get that. Like when certain times of the year I'll get kind of stuffy. And most people, it seems like a lot of people do have allergies of some kind. But it says having allergies might actually be beneficial for your brain.
Huh.
New research shows people who have allergies are less likely to develop brain cancer.
Really?
Study published in the Journal of Cancer, Epidemiology, Biomarkers, and Prevention, which is an awesome magazine to read if you ever get time. They found more allergies.
Turner.
Yeah, it is awesome. I have no clue. It's a journal, I guess. They found the more allergies a person has, the less likely they were to develop gliomas, the most common type of brain tumors. Experts are not exactly sure why, but there is some sort of link. Research there said that it does not... I'm going to try that again. I take a second whack of this. I'm struggling today. Researchers said it does not matter what type of allergies you have, whether they're seasonal allergies, like we mentioned, if you're allergic to pets, if you're allergic to certain kinds of food, but they all have some sort of protective effect against brain cancer. So there you go. Even though you have an allergy, the good news is it might help you avoid getting brain cancer. So if you had to have the choice between being allergic to something or getting brain cancer, I don't think you'd have to ask many people which one they would rather choose. You know, I'll take the allergy every day. I mean, I just would. So there you go. So if you do have allergies, and if you know somebody with an allergy, make sure you share that with them and say, hey, that's good. I'm glad you're allergic to my cat. You know why? That means you have a smaller chance of getting brain cancer. So there you go. Coming up, we got some other good news to share. That is on the way.
This portion of the program is brought to you by DirecTV. Call 1-800-259-7646. They have hundreds of channels to choose from, with many packages to fit your viewing desires. Learn more at 1-800-259-7646.
Always try to find something positive to wrap up this program, and this is an interesting story. Now, I don't know if it necessarily falls in the category of good news, but it's as good as I'm going to give you. I had a good story. The last one we shared was pretty good. But this one here is about Jessica Ola. And she's spending the week making 2,340 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at a New York art gallery as patrons watch. This is part of her performance art. Yeah. Her edible performance art. It's a tribute to the sacrifices her mother made.
Okay.
For her and her siblings. Jessica arrived at the number 2,340 for what reason, Heidi?
I have no idea.
Because that is how many school days there are from kindergarten through 12th grade.
Huh.
Jessica said her mama packed her a PB&J sandwich for her lunch every day when she was in school. Jessica is making about 50 sandwiches every hour. Her art will not go unappreciated. Twice a day. The meals masterpieces are being delivered to Bowery Mission to help feed the hungry.
That's good. I was going to say, because that's ridiculous.
That was
wasteful
the good part.
And ridiculous.
No,
so that's good.
And this is really cool. And it's my question is, how much does it cost to make 2,340 peanut butter sandwiches? Because that sounds like it'd be quite a bit, wouldn't it?
It's ridiculous.
She's making 50
really
sandwiches per hour.
Nothing to say about this.
Well, I thought it was really interesting. And like I said, the reason I categorize this as good news is because she's feeding the hungry with it. But she's calling it performance art.
Right. She's basically just volunteering for a shelter.
That's cool. But would anybody stand around and watch somebody?
So when she gets to 2,340, she's going to say, I no longer care about the hungry, and I'm no longer going to help them.
No, she chose that number. That's the number. 2,340.
When she gets that number, she's just stopping.
Yeah, she's done. That's it. Because then her performance art is done. Anything after that would just be volunteering. It's no longer performance art.
Is she taking pictures of each of these?
I don't know.
Every day? How is it art if it's not?
It's performance art. So.
Whatever.
I don't get it.
At the risk of upsetting someone in Brazil, that's lame.
Oh, Heidi, come on. Anyway, Jessica Ola, hats off to you. Not so much for the performance art, but for feeding hungry people. I think that's cool. And if you're into that kind of art,
but she
go
could
check
do
it
that
out.
without making a scene.
There you go. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
Time now for the bonus break. Only available here on the John and Heidi Show podcast.
Time now for the bonus break, brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. They were in the Super Bowl, too. Did you? You didn't see any of the ads. You didn't even watch the Super Bowl.
I had no interest this year at all. I really didn't.
They had a pretty good ad.
And I heard that none of the ads were good anyway.
You know what? They were one of my favorite. And it was funny because I can't even think of the guy's name, but he's the founder of the Dollar Shave Club. He was in the shower with a guy. There was a guy in the shower, and he had this rusty, yucky razor in there that was talking to him. Anyway, it was pretty clever. It was one of the best, but sadly, that's not such a great compliment because the ads this year, I don't think they were really that good. Anyway, why are auctioneers so hard to understand, Heidi? You ever wonder about that?
Because they have to talk fast.
But it says there are several reasons for the strange patter that they do. If the auction is confined to a single type of merchandise like tobacco, there may be a reference that people in that business understand only and other people don't get it.
They have tobacco auctions?
Yeah. Auctioneers also have to speak quickly because there's a lot of stuff to sell in a limited amount of time. It's not a store where people shop leisurely. But how about the sounds that you hear that are just gibberish? Those things are called filler words. Little excess verbiage to give people time to decide if they want to raise their bid, while the rhythm of the chant is psychologically designed to encourage them to do just that.
And it gets you excited.
Yeah.
It's like the bells on the machines at the casino.
Yeah, it is. And the thing that's interesting is I have been involved in auctions before, but I've never done the filler words, because when I've done it, I've just said, the numbers, the amount.
Sometimes I think they start to sound like Porky Pig.
That's all, folks. It's really interesting, though. And here's the thing that I learned. I had a guy, because I was recruited to be an auctioneer at an event because they know I can talk fast. So they said, hey, can you come and talk at this thing and like tell everybody about this and be our auctioneer? So I did this. It was a fundraiser event. This is years ago. And I called a friend of mine that was an auctioneer, and I said, so how do I do this? He said, if you can count by 2.5s, you'll do great. He said, no matter what it is. So start out at $5. Now 7.5. 7.5 now 10. 10 now $12.50. $12.50 now $15.
Yeah,
so he said,
I'd be out after the $5. I'd be like, oh.
He said, if you could count by 2.5s, he said they're going to think you're like a professional auctioneer. I don't think I fooled anybody, but I still, because I was like, anybody know where I plug this microphone in? What do I do next? Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story.
I heard you the other night at an event that we did. And you were saying, this table over here closes in 15 minutes. And this one over here closes in 35 minutes. And this one over here closes at 7:30. Because you couldn't figure out how many minutes it was.
You caught that, huh?
I did.
I was trying to figure it out. I was reading it. That was for an auction. I was not the auctioneer, thank goodness. But that was funny. All right. Hey, honesty is the best policy. I'm a big fan of just telling the truth. Because if you tell the truth, no matter what, you at least got the truth out. You don't have to worry about getting caught doing something wrong. This is a true story. And I think it's such a cool story. A man entered a diesel repair shop. He said, I'm a driver from such and such Fleet Trucking. And he said, how about we throw some extra parts on the bill We'll let the company pay for it, and you and I can split the difference.
Whoa.
The shop owner said, no, I'm not going to do that. The customer was being insistent. He says, come on, I come through here a lot. We can make a lot of money. The shop owner said, that's not how we operate. And he goes, come on, everybody else does this. Are you some kind of fool? Now the owner of the shop was getting a little upset, and he said, maybe you should just take your business somewhere else. And that's when the trucker smiled, and he reached out for a handshake, and he says, I just want to let you know, I own the trucking company. I've been looking for an honest mechanic that I can trust. I'm not taking my business anywhere else. You're going to get all of my business now. Thank you for being honest. How cool is that?
That is cool.
So I think that is just such a neat story, and it proves that, again, honesty is the best policy. I had a time when I made a mistake. I goofed up. I ran the wrong ads for somebody, and I got a call from the guy. He said, are you still running my old ad? And I said, I don't think so. Let me check. I'll find out, and I'll get back to you. Well, I checked into it. I was running the wrong ad, and I was like, oh, no. So first thing I did is I put the right ad on, fixed that. Then I turned in an order for some extra ads for all the ones that were ran incorrectly, and I called the guy, and I said, I just got it fixed. I just want to let you know that it was me. I was running it wrong. Here's what I did. I fixed this, and we've got it taken care of, and I apologize. I hope you'll forgive me. And he said, no, I want to thank you. And I said, you want to thank me? He said, I got my biggest customer that we've ever had. I have the biggest customer in the history of our company because you were running the wrong ad. But he said, I also want to thank you for being honest, because he said, here's what everybody else did. When I called and asked if they were running the wrong ad, somebody was. The guy couldn't remember which station he was listening to, but somebody was running the wrong ad. Everybody else said, no, it's not us. They didn't even check into it. Mm-hmm. But he said, I appreciate the fact that you were honest and you let me know. And he said, we're going to keep doing stuff with you. As a matter of fact, we're going to do more with you now. And I was like, oh, okay. So honesty, always the best policy. And we actually have a radio station in Sioux City, Iowa, and this next story is from Sioux City, Iowa.
All right.
So some people listening might actually know this person. It says, sometimes God works in mysterious ways, even in the lives of criminals.
Okay.
Jada Coover of Sioux City, Iowa, was scheduled to appear in court on charges of attempting to tamper with anhydrous ammonia. Now, that's stuff that you use when you're making methamphetamines.
Okay.
He was tooling around town in a truck one day on the day he was supposed to appear in court, and he was not intending to go to court. But this truck that he was driving looked a lot like a truck that was just in a hit-and-run accident. So a policeman spotted the truck, and he started to follow him. That's when this brilliant mind thought, I'm going to outrun these guys. And he took off. Guess where he went?
Where?
To a courthouse. He
my
pulled in,
gosh.
found a space, ran inside, went into a courtroom, and it was the courtroom that he was supposed to be in. He was literally in the exact courtroom that he was supposed to be scheduled in like a minute from then. So he went to hide from the cops in the courthouse, didn't even realize that's where he was.
Oh my
I think that is awesome. So Jada, even though you did the wrong thing, you did the right thing in the end, I guess. So that's kind of funny. All right, and we're going to wrap things up with one last story. We've got a story here from Brazil. Now, you had mentioned Brazil a little bit ago.
Yes.
Because we got an email from somebody in Brazil that told Heidi she could take the next bus.
It's ridiculous.
Still don't know what that means.
I don't know. Stupid comment.
She said something that they disagreed with. Anyway, I'm not going to get in the middle of all that. But take a listen to what happened in Brazil. The Brazilian parliament has passed a bill banning people from giving their pets human names. If you name your pet a human name, you could get a fine and you could get community service. Now, it still has to be approved by a community commission for it to become an actual law. But the bill author, Pastor Ronaldo, told Terry Nocitas Populares, whatever that is, I think that's a magazine. He says it's terribly embarrassing when somebody finds out that they've got a pet with your name.
Oh, it is not.
I don't think so either. Because we've got a dog named Mandy and we've got a dog named Miley. I've never, ever had anybody say, oh, my name is Miley.
Yeah.
I am so embarrassed. You have a dog with that name?
It's ridiculous.
Now, you have a mother named Sandy, and your aunt, Sandy's sister, had a dog named Sandy.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't rude. It wasn't like she was...
My brother has a dog named Molly.
Yeah. So,
I mean, it's just... I don't think that'll probably pass.
Well, I just think it's interesting because
That's
then what are you
somebody with
supposed
his
to name your
undies in a
dog?
bunch.
I just don't know. What are you supposed to name him then?
That guy's name is probably Rover.
Yeah, it's... what was his name? Yeah, it is. It's Fido. That's his first name. No, it's not really. I already deleted the story, so I couldn't tell you what his name is. Anyway, that's going to do it for our bonus break today. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Our bonus break brought to you by the Dollar Shave Club. I'm going to give you their website now. I don't think I did that in the beginning. We got off track. Website is dollarshaveclub.com/radio.